so welcome. So this is Google Classroom for CDC management. Again, I'm Sergeant Dobberton. This is just essentially discussing Google Classroom as a whole and how it works. I'm going to talk about some of my personal ideas in how we train in CDCs, where we're personally at, where we're at right now, and where I think we need to be. Just a quick overview, just the current methods, proposed methods, a quick little video, it's 2 minutes on intro to Google and education, pros and cons of Google Classroom, and then I want to talk about innovation time. So something we talk about a lot in the Air Force is being innovative. Any Googlers in here? Any fans of Google? Sweet. So I'm definitely one. I went full Google when I started my master's course. I got a Pixel phone, I got a Chromebook, I just ordered a Pixel Slate. I Google. I'm a Googler if you don't know what the term is. Pretty cool, right? Okay. So I'm a big fan of Google and how it works. They're huge into education. If you didn't know, K-12 Google is a big deal. So Google Classroom is used in all over the K-12 world, for those that don't know. So some of our airmen are already doing this. They're doing this all the way up through high school. They're in Google Classroom, they're using online training, they're doing all this stuff innovatively, and then they come to us. And what do we give them?
Paper.
Paper. We give them paper documents, and then what do we do at the end of taking all those paper documents? We give them a computer test, right, for their EOC. Sorry to trick you on that one, but we give them an EOC test. It's weird. It doesn't make a lot of sense if you just kind of process that. They're going from an innovative K-12 classroom where their teachers are being trained in all the stuff that I'm going to talk to you about today. They're being trained in all of it. The students are getting it. They're doing this stuff in the classroom. And then they come here, and we give them a book. And we say, here, read this, and we're going to give you a paper test on it in 30 days. If you don't pass, you do it again. That's all we do. Right? Some of you may be a little bit more innovative than that, but that's the gist of it, right? So the current methods, paper books. Okay? Up to what? 400 or 500 pages, different AFSCs. Fuels, you got what, about 600 pages in 4 volumes? VM, how many different ones do you have?
3 sets.
3 sets. Supply?
We have 2 sets.
2 sets. Hundreds and hundreds of pages. Most of your airmen are printing them out? Yeah? We give them to in a PDF though, right? And say, hey, don't print this. And then we're going to print it anyway, because that's how a lot of people like to read, right? Limited to no digital interaction. What does that mean? So when I say that, I'm talking about how we give them these things, right? What kind of digital stuff is in these CDCs? Do your CDCs, anyone in this room, have videos in them?
No.
How-to? Anything? No.
It's got pictures.
Isn't that terrible? It's got some terrible pictures though, right? Some older pictures, not too good. Okay, can we change that? We can. So some people argued this with me when I first brought this to the Air Force because they thought it would be test compromise if we changed anything about how we do our CDCs. Hogwash, I think it's ridiculous. Okay? Innovation, we don't stop it with rules, right? That's what our commanders tell us. Go through the rules, figure out a better way to do things. So that's what we want to do. Paper practice tests, everybody do that? Who does paper practice tests for their CDCs, UREs, all that stuff? Anybody have digital ones? Fuels does, yeah. You have digital practice tests? Sweet. What kind are you using?
Ones that we make up.
Ones you make yourself? Okay. Wouldn't it be better if somebody just gave you those? They came prepackaged with your CDCs to be able to train your airmen? God, that would make sense, wouldn't it? We give paper practice tests, and then we give computer-based final exams. Huh. No wonder some of our airmen have anxiety about this stuff. They really do. Some of these guys have real test anxiety, and they do all this practice stuff on paper, and then we send them in a room that they don't even know what it looks like. And it's like a little 4x4 cubicle cell. Anybody been in there? It's a little cell with 4 desks, and they can only test 4 people out. It's bad, right? And we expect them to do well. Averages, I think, in pretty much all of our AFSCs across LRS is about 80, maybe. Maybe. We have manual tracking mechanisms. What do I mean by that is we take those UREs, those paper URE tests, right? And then we go into TBA and we put what they got. It's manual. It doesn't do it for you. Digital tests do it for you. I'll show you how. Okay? That's what Google Classroom can do for us and you as supervisors. It's going to save you time if we use it. If we use it. Manual feedback mechanism. You're talking to airmen. You got to find them. How many people have people on shifts? Everyone. We all have people across shifts, or they work weekends or whatever. But sometimes we're so low man. We have to still put our CDC guys on those. What about people that deploy airmen in CDCs? We do that too. What if you had a tool where you could still reach out to them digitally and say, hey man, you didn't take your URE for volume 2. I need you to do that. You have that if we use something a little bit newer. Okay? The number one issue, airmen find their own practice tests. This is my number one issue with this. How many of your airmen have ProProfs? Have you heard of that? Who's heard of ProProfs? 1, 2. ProProfs is where airmen are going and they're putting up a bunch of URE questions and then they just practice on their phones. That's how they're practicing for their exams. We should all know that. Okay? What about Master Your CDCs? Macmillan. They find their own way, right? We should be providing them with the method. When you're taking a class, okay? Yeah, you have to do your own research and all that stuff, but they try to centralize that. How many people have taken an online course? All your stuff is in that classroom. For the most part, they link you and they tell you where to go. Our airmen are out there doing whatever they want. They're looking and finding a way to do better on their CDCs. They're trying to figure it out. And we're allowing it. So maybe they're studying, maybe they're getting 80% because they're not studying the right stuff. Okay? We can help with that. My proposed methods. Okay, and I say mine, but really it's something we should all be talking about. Electronic PDF file book, we have that. But what do we do with it? We print it. Okay? Digital interaction. Digital interaction can be videos. It can be audio. How many people are verbal learners, audio? I am. I don't like reading books. Wouldn't it be great if we had a CDC version that read back to the airmen? We don't have that. If you can download Adobe DC and all that stuff, and it'll read back to you, but it's weird. It's not that great. It's a computerized voice. It's not fantastic. But the tools are out there to be able to make that happen. We just don't use them. Okay? One, we're busy. Two, the Air Force doesn't provide us enough to do that. But it would help our airmen tremendously. Electronic practice exams on laptops and phone applications. In fuels right now, they have the capability to pick up their phone and take a URE test. What's wrong with that? Anything wrong with that? I don't think so. I don't think so. If I send Airman Snuffy a message on Google Classroom and say, hey, volume 1's due, I need you to test out today. Or hey, you haven't done a practice test in a minute, here's a comp review test, take it. When they're done taking it, guess what happens in fuels when they're using it? Guess what happens? It scores it automatically. The airman knows, or it's up to you whether you let the airman know. Let the airman know whether or not you can select in there. They know exactly what they got immediately. And it sends you an email immediately that they finished, that they took the test. It populates immediately in Google Classroom. And then if you have 14 airmen in the same block, and if they're missing the same stuff, it populates high miss for you. It's not rocket science either, it just does it. It's super simple. It does it on an Excel sheet, a Google sheet. Sorry, we don't have Microsoft terms in here. Okay? So it works in Google Sheets, it'll populate to it. There's some pretty cool add-ons you can use, and I'm going to show you some of that here in a little bit. We already do computer-based final exams. That's fine, we need to continue doing that. Auto test grading and instant feedback, we talked about that. Trainers controlling the review and practice test for your airmen instead of the airmen controlling it. So you as trainers control what material they're reviewing, what tests they are taking, so you know what they need for these tests, right? You know what they need to be successful. ProProfs might not. Okay, the other different avenues out there that they study might not, and there's a bunch of them. Quizlet, you name it. There's a ton of stuff out there that airmen are using, and we just don't know about it. All right, Google Classroom, quick video.
Education is evolving quickly. So in order to better understand these changes, Google for Education partnered with a global team of researchers to examine evidence-based shifts in classroom education. Here's what we found. Educators and parents are helping students develop new skills to problem solve, safely navigate the digital world, and prepare for future careers. And inside the classroom, there's a desire to empower students to choose what and how they learn, with classroom structures evolving to match. Technology's role is evolving as well, helping to connect schools and guardians in new ways, saving educators time and enabling innovation in schools across the globe. Join us and explore the future of the classroom.
Super motivating, right? Google. Yeah, it talks a little bit more about K-12 stuff, but that's okay. So, pros for using Google Classroom, it's airman-centric. Okay? Our airmen are technologically savvy, folks. We might not be, but we need to get there. Okay? That's okay. Electronic-minded airmen. How many of you guys walk into your work centers and your airmen are staring at their phones? Anybody? Every single work center here, I don't care who it is, including everyone in this room. including you guys. Yeah, don't put your phones away, I need them out, right? It's true, we're electronically minded now, and our airmen are no different than us, okay? So maximizing downtime and cell phone FaceTime with training. So when your airmen are sitting around, especially your CDC upgrade training airmen, when they're just sitting on their phones playing whatever they play, okay? Or Snapchatting and all that fun stuff, Instagramming, they could be doing URE CDC tests right on their phone. Now they can. Not in most sections they can. But if you could maximize that time, imagine as a supervisor, you walk in and see an airman that's been here for 2 months, that you know is in their CDCs, not doing anything. They could be reading. They could be doing something on their phone. Okay, Google Classroom allows you to do that, and you can pick up your phone as a supervisor and go, oh, you're not doing nothing? Hold on a minute. Why don't you take volume 1 test record? See how you're doing. Oh, you're not doing too hot. I see you scored a 60. Need you to get back in the books. Don't be sitting there playing. It's not punishment, but it's a good tool. YouTube learning, interest airmen. How many of you guys watch YouTube videos to figure out how to fix something in your house, your car? It's no different with CDCs, okay? My vision, right, so I have this grand vision, as a senior math sergeant, I don't have all the time in the world to do all this stuff, is find those things that our airmen are troubled with in their CDCs, find the hardest parts for them through feedback, through talking to them, through scores, all of that. Find those hard things and align it with a video, align it with something to help them see what it is that they're trying to see by reading. So YouTube learning interest airmen. So make YouTube videos. I'll show, if you want to stick around for a minute at the end, I can show you one that I created. It's a little embarrassing because it's you guys like doing videos of yourself talking? Me neither. I don't like it. But it's something that we need to do, right? So I've done a couple of those for fuels, okay? And the other pro for the classroom is make sure that you're using relevant material. Electronic assignments. So this is what the POL Google Classroom looks like. You have a couple different streams. You can look on your phones if you want. I have a different look than you might have because I'm a teacher. You guys are logged into the classroom right now as students. So stream pretty much looks just like a Facebook stream, it's whatever, right? It's just a stream of things that are happening in the classroom. Okay, it'll tell you when airman so-and-so was actually issued a test. Tells you many different things, right? It also has due dates. So it'll pop up here on due dates, on who's due an exam, who's due a review, whatever it may be. Here's where I was talking about grading and instant feedback. It gives you these when you go into the actual quizzes that you create. It'll tell you how many airmen missed what questions. Whether you can read that or not, that shows there an average of 61.8 out of 70. The median score is 59, and there's a range from 57 to 67 for this particular test. And 6 different people have taken it. If you go into individual, it'll tell you every individual what they missed, high miss, and if it will actually highlight them in a different color if it's a high miss across all the people that are taking the test. The phone app, it's a big pro. Because in the Air Force, we don't have great connectivity on our networks. If our airmen can sit on their phone, which is pretty reliable for the most part, depending on your carrier, they're going to get more done. They're more likely to get it done, and then you actually can text them and say, hey, why haven't you done this? They're going to respond to you, I hope. Demonstration time. I'm going to show you a few things in the classroom, and we'll see what we got. All right. So right now, how many of you logged into the classroom and are students? Sweet, let's see it. There you are. So you just did that. Now my computer, it shows everybody that's in there. So those are all students, right? Now I'm going to give you a quiz. You ready to take a quiz? So I'm going to go into my classwork line. This is how easy this is, folks. Okay? I'm going to create a new. Click on assignment. You don't have to follow. You don't have to know what I'm doing, but just quick quiz, right? You just click on this little folder here, and it'll pull up your Google Drive, however you want to do it. So we're going to create a new assignment. Go into my drive, which of course I did. So if you have UREs, you just go find your URE folder, whatever it is, select that. And you've got all students. This is kind of the cool part, right? I can select every single one of you. So if you just wanted to quiz all your airmen and CDCs for fun, you could create something to do. That'd be fun. You can select different, you can take it off and just select individuals, but for this particular one, I'm going to all students. And I'm going to assign it. There's no due date, but I want you to do it now. Let's see what happens. So if you refresh your phones, you'll see that quiz on your phone. It'll pop up. It should just say quiz. It's got some pretty simple questions on it. I know Sergeant Walsh has taken this test before. They didn't do too good, not the first time. Just kidding. Simple stuff. Now these quizzes are something you can create in minutes. It doesn't take a lot of time. However, this is something that I'm going to be teaching on Thursday. Google Forms and Google Drive, just how to kind of maneuver in there if you wanted to create your own. How's everybody doing? Let me know when you're done. Just put your phones down. It's a very hard test. You better get an A. You've already taken this test. If you don't already do it, I'll show you later, Sergeant Gobble. It's okay.
What's the class code?
man?
Class code is 20X0. Mom. I'll definitely show how it is. Everybody else that actually has the app, is everybody else good?
Yeah.
Everybody else has completed the test? Okay, good. Let's look at the results.
Not completed yet, but I'm working on it.
Keep working on it. See, it shows everybody that's turned it in so far. How cool is that? So we got 12 responses. The average score is 7 out of 8. Not bad, guys. So if you click on this, it's a Google Sheet. It'll actually bring this thing up. It tells me each one of you what you did. All your email address are tracked in there. Okay, so I know exactly what everybody got, what scores you got. A couple of you missed a couple questions. That's okay. I appreciate that. Okay. Now I'm going to show you an add-on here real quick. As that spins around, of course it's linked to my phone and we're in a nice little classroom, so it'll take a minute. But as that loads, I'll show you an add-on that I've learned about in my time through my degree. It's called Flubaroo. It's a fun name, right? So teachers are using this, folks. So I can go in here now and I can grade this assignment. Apps are cool, aren't they? I've already pre-done all this stuff, so I'm just clicking through. It's going to use mine as an answer key. I like that you all said hell yeah. See, it's grading the assignment. It's going to pop up to show me all the results. It creates its own tab by itself. I don't have to do any of this. It's literally just clicking a button. So if you have multiple airmen doing their UREs, this is a fantastic tool for you. Thanks. Did you see the orange one? I didn't assign a point value, so it's showing 0. That's high miss, right, as far as it's concerned. It's showing zeros all the way through here, so it's a little bit afraid that no one got that right. So that's why it highlights that in orange. So it'll do the same thing for your UREs. Pretty cool stuff. Okay, I'm going to show you the POL classroom real quick, just kind of a quick browse on some of the stuff that's in there.
How were you able to upload the data for the CDCs?
How was I able to?
Is it a Word doc?
You can copy and paste it. It's Google Forms. Remember, so come back Thursday. I'll show you how.
I'm sure you can compute it.
Maybe. There's definitely classes on Google Forms and all these classrooms through Google, the Google site itself. Every one of the apps that they have has a teaching mechanism assigned to it as well. So pretty cool stuff. All right, so back to the classroom. So in classes, it's in classroom. If you have multiple classes, they'll all show up here. You can see that the one I created this morning for you guys. Then VM, I created one. They have 0 students. POL has 7 students loaded in theirs. So real quick, we'll run through POLs. That's what it looks like live. So that's the stream. You can add slides to it, videos, anything you want. You can add links. So down here at the bottom, just a welcome message. You can keep doing that when you allow new airmen in or invite them in. There's a link to the YouTube playlist that we have on here, which has our videos, some cool POL video type-ish things. Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts is a chat, right? So I link it directly into the classroom. So if your airmen are inside their CDCs and they're having a struggle, they're having a hard time understanding what they're doing, they can log into Google Hangouts and find you. Wherever you're at, doesn't matter. Hey, I'm reading this in my CDCs. today, tonight, at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, why Google? I don't understand this. Can you help me? Yeah, hope so. If they don't get a response from that supervisor, they can ask multiple supervisors. If you get tests back and they get like a 60% or a 50% or 100%, you can give them feedback directly and immediately. Okay? If you have shift workers that are coming in, you send them back on Google Hangouts and say, hey guys, or hey, you got a 60, I need you to retake this, maybe study these areas, and they get a text message. It's good feedback. It's immediate, it's quick. You don't have to wait and find them. You're busy. Your training managers are busy. Okay, so supervisors have a great tool at their hands if they want to use it.
You also have a small opening to be able to distribute the sample through. Next, you'll actually see here a picture of the prism. You don't want to scratch this prism, put anything on it directly if you can avoid it, and only use a soft cloth to clean the prism itself. This is the end where you will actually look through.
You have to tell people that.
When you go to
This is the end you go
calibrate,
through.
you'll see this next slide here with the measurements that you'll see through the viewfinder. This is a zero reading that you'll see used during calibration when you use only water to calibrate. You see the gray line intersects at the zero, which is the perfect calibration. Here, this is fuel that actually, or water that actually has diagamy in it, and it measures at about 0.070% by volume at the gray line. You'll also need a 1 quart sample jar with a minimum 1 pint of fuel or 450 milliliters of jet fuel. You'll be using a glass separatory funnel and a stand. Here you'll see the funnel stand together along with your quart jar, the refractometer, and a 250 milliliter graduated cylinder used to measure out your 160 milliliters of fuel. Now let's get started.
No? You guys like the music? I like the music. It's fun. So then I just shot video and put little things over it so people pay attention to it. Easy.
Refractometer in a horizontal position, lifting the prism cover plate, and make sure that the prism cover
Evan Silverio, he's a movie star.
Using a plastic dipstick or common plastic syringe to prevent scratching the prism, place a few drops of water from the aluminum dish on the face of the prism itself. Close the cover plate and observe the location of the line.
Watch
of the
this. This is
through
magic.
the eyepiece.
Watch. Oh,
You'll see here that the
Amazing, isn't it?
line intersects at zero, so there's no need to do any kind of calibration or movement of the line. Carefully clean off, as you see, the prism plate and set it aside. Next, you're going to carefully measure out 160 milliliters of jet fuel into a graduated cylinder. Carefully pour the fuel to avoid splashing.
I'm reading this right out of their CDCs.
You'll see it's 160 degrees there at the meniscus.
I just took it right out, made a little
Carefully take
transcript right out of it. Actually had the lab tricks do it.
Respiratory funnel.
and then I had to do the voiceover. You get the gist of that, right? All right, so back in business. All right, so some more pros after that demonstration. Affordable. Chromebooks. So I was able to purchase, when I first started doing this in Fuels myself, I did it with my own money. I bought 3 Chromebooks through, they were used, but they were $50 a piece. Okay? A Chromebook, if you don't know, is not some huge computer. It doesn't have a bunch of moving parts. It's more or less a notebook. Like an iPad, so to speak, but it operates more like a computer. They're cheap. If we bought them in masses for training our own squadron, it wouldn't cost very much. Okay? Commercial internet is a pro. We need that to run this. Okay? That's when we get into comments. I'll explain that. Google for Education suite, the entire suite, which offers us every application that they have, every tool that's available, is $4 per month. That's it, per person that's enrolled. Okay? Right now, I'm not paying anything. We're just using it as a trial basis. But if we were actually to buy this thing, this program through Google, it is $48 a year, essentially per year. It's not a lot. We spend a lot more than that on other things. Our time is worth more than that, probably, that we do in a couple days with these guys. Cons: our military network does not allow access to the cloud. Google Cloud does not function on the military network. So as a trainer, you cannot add new documents from your government computer. You can create them, you cannot add them to the cloud. You have to send them to yourself, save them to your email, and then send them. So those are some of the frustrations we have with being on the government network. Okay? It just does not work. It would require us to be able to, it would require the Air Force really, and AFNet to allow us to process this information through Google, and that's going to be a fight. That's not going to be too fun because they just brought on Microsoft OneDrive. We'll see about the Google thing. It assumes airmen have access to Wi-Fi and a device to access this stuff. If they don't, we can provide it. Okay, because they're not very cheap. That's not a huge list of cons. The biggest one is the networking, being able to connect to the internet and use this stuff. I do it from my own personal computer. I do it from my own hotspot on my own phone. Okay, that's how I'm using it. It's not that terrible, but if the squadron were to get just commercial Wi-Fi hotspots throughout the building, it wouldn't be that expensive either. And we actually have talked to the commander in the group about that. So my final thoughts there is we've been operating with this training, at least I've been in 25, almost 26 years. We've been doing it the same since when I came in. It has not changed. Someone's at my door. It has not changed. Our training is the same. They gave me a CDC, oh, it was easier when I came in because they gave me the same books. They said just keep those wrapped in plastic. Here's a disc, memorize these 100 questions and you'll probably get an 80. So that's what I did, and I got an 80. Okay. We don't treat our airmen like that because we want them to learn and be good technicians and know their jobs, right? But we haven't changed anything in the 25 years I've been in here. Maybe the computer test at the EOC. Everything else is identical. Bubble URE sheets, everything is the same. In a different version of a 623A, you got TBA, all that's different, right? A little bit. But how the airmen are training is the same. So we need to fix it. So that's why I did this here. On Thursday, we're going to do one more, and it's just really to help teach Google Forms and Google Drive. I've already got it created, it's ready to go. So it'll be Thursday, I think it's 2 o'clock, 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock on Thursday. I'd love to see your faces here again. And then on Friday, I'm going to talk to your airmen. As many CDC airmen as I can get in here. I'll open up the back wall and we'll jam them all in here if I can, because I want their input. Because if I have their input and it's something that they want, it's something that would make their life easier, or especially your guys that just went through CDCs. Okay? So they might say, oh, I don't care. That's not my problem anymore. It will be, because they're going to do 7 level. You're going to deal with the same stuff. Okay? This doesn't just apply to our airmen 5 levels, it also applies to our staff sergeant 7 levels. Okay? Any questions? No?